This video is brought to you by Miniature Market. Thousands of board games, discounted prices, miniaturemarket.com.
Hello my friends, it's the Game Boy Geek here. Hey, in just about a month, the movie theaters are going to be going crazy with long lines and everyone's going to be going nuts over this latest Star Wars movie that's coming out, Rogue One. And so to put things together with that, Hasbro has put together a Star Wars version of Clue, which has a three-dimensional board and a slightly different way to play the game. So let me show you how it's played, how it differs from Clue in which ways, and what I finally think of it. Now in this game you get to pick who you'd like to be, Luke Skywalker, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Chewie, C-3PO, or R2-D2. Now there is a three-dimensional board that you'll have to put together each time you play the game, and it's a two-story board that you'll be moving around to different rooms. And here's what the structure looks like from sort of a top-down view. Everyone will start in this clue spot, and you'll be moving around the corridors to go to different buildings, but you're trying to find out the three different things to solve the case. And what you're trying to find out is, instead of person, place, and thing, like in the regular Clue, it's which planet will Darth Vader target next, which room are the plans basically hidden in, and then how will we escape, which vehicle, for example. Now there are cards for each of the vehicles, rooms, and planets that they're Clue cards. These will get dealt out evenly to all the amount of players. Any leftover remaining cards, meaning you can't go around the whole table of players again, will get face up. Every card you have in your hand and every face up card will get marked off, and there's only one of every card, so each one that's marked off, you know that will not be part of the solution. You're trying to find the card that's not here, because at the beginning of the game, one of each of these cards, planets, rooms, and vehicles, will get put away into this envelope, and this will be the solution of the game. In this game, you'll roll your die when it's your turn, and you'll move around the corridors up to this amount, trying to get into a room to do some investigation. If you cannot get to another room with your roll and you're stuck in the corridor, you must take a corridor card. Now, if you take a corridor card, they look like this on the front. What you'll do is you'll do what it says. This says all clear, nothing happens, that's good, you just put it in the discard pile. This one says you roll again and move, and if you don't get into a room, essentially you're going to go to the trash compactor room, and then you would basically discard this after that turn. And on the bottom floor, you can see this is where the trash compactor is in this space. If you get the comm link, you can use it now or later, and basically ask any one opponent any three things: planet, vehicles, and room, and then it gets discarded. If you get this, you've been caught. Now there's one of these for every player plus one. So if you're playing with 4 players, there'd be 5 of these. If you get caught, you're gonna go directly to the detention block. Now, if you're in this detention block because of that, the only way you can get out is if somebody else comes in here and rescues you. If they rescue you, you get to show this player any one of your cards that you want as sort of a favor for getting them out. If no one does rescue you when it's your turn here, you just get a turn. You can't move, but you can basically ask, you'll be asking the player to your left about the detention block and 2 other things. So let's talk about, once you're in a room, what do? It is very much like Clue. So let's say I'm C-3PO and I got into the laser control room. I would bring in with me tokens for the planet and the vehicle, X-Wing, and the Yavin 4. So let's say I asked about these 3 things. Now, I would ask the player to my left if they have any of those 3. If they have any of those 3, they show me only one and the one that they choose. If they don't have it, we go around the table to the next player left of them. And this continues until someone has shown you 1 card. If it gets all the way around to you, no one's shown you a card, well, either you're bluffing or you may have just found out the solution to the puzzle. Now there's also elevators. If you're here, you can take the elevator down to here, or from there up to there as well. If you think you know the solution, you can come down to the docking bay, which is down here, and you can say what you think the solution is. At that point, you look in the envelope. If you're correct, you win. If you're not, you lose. You cannot win the game, but you must still answer questions and show cards when people ask you questions. Now growing up, Clue was probably my favorite game. Now as a kid, I played tons and tons of games all the time, and mostly just the mass market type of games like you may imagine have seen in stores, but Clue was the one that I played the most because I really loved mathematics and deduction, and I even came up with my own variants at like 7 or 8 years old to try to play it 2-player, stuff like that. I loved Clue growing up, and even today, out of all the mass market type games that are out there, I still feel it's one of the better ones. Now granted, there's plenty of other deduction games I've had in my collection since then that I would much rather play than Clue, but if someone came up to me with the Clue board game, I was at their house, say let's play it, I'd totally be down because I still like the game. Modern mechanics have come far since then, but there's still a lot of good things there. So I was hoping that last year, a lot of people were talking about Star Wars Risk and how, hey, this isn't just a mass market version of Risk, it's actually a very good game, it speeds it up, it's very intriguing, and it was a good version of a game that I felt was too long. So I was hoping that they did something with this to make Clue a little bit better and more streamlined. So what did I finally think? Well, here's the bottom line. If you're a Star Wars fan and you kind of remember Clue as a kid, you want to sort of get that feeling of playing Clue, you probably don't remember all the rules, but you really like Star Wars, no brainer, get it, you'll probably like it. If you're the type of player that likes Star Wars but also really loves Clue and you really know the rules and you like deduction games, you might want to get it just for the novelty item, just to play Star Wars with other people, but you're not going to like the gameplay. I'll tell you why in just a minute, because then you get to someone like me who, Star Wars, I'll go see the movie. I remember watching them as a kid. I enjoy it, but I'm not a nutso freak about Star Wars. But I really do like the original Clue. I love deduction games, so I look at it from that. I am mad that I bought this. This is not worth it for me, because if you're looking for gameplay, this game has a few issues. I like that they tried something different. I like the thematic differences between the planet and the, going around. I love the three-dimensional board, even though it's a pain in the butt to put together. It looks cool when it's done. I like how you're moving around. They didn't take away the roll and move, which is the part I hated the most about Clue, but it's there. And that's not the worst part. The worst part is, essentially you're rolling around and you might get stuck in the corridor very often probably, and you're going to take one of those cards and you might get one of the cards that puts you to that detention place. Now here's where I feel like the game is kind of broken, because if you get sent to the detention block there and the player to your left has the detention block in their hand, you can't move. Once you know the detention block, you cannot move until someone comes and rescues you. Now, no one is really incentivized to come rescue you, because the only thing you get for that is you get to look at a card that they choose. So if the person in the detention block has shown you even one card throughout the game, there's no incentive to go free them, because they're just going to show you the card that they've already shown you. So I'm not going to go there. Once everybody gets in there, the game loses, because no one can free anybody, it's over and nobody wins. Lame. Also, if the player to your left has the detention block card, if you're stuck in the detention block, sometimes you can still get useful information. You can't move out of there, but you can say, hey, okay, detention block, this planet, and this vehicle. And the player to your left, you might get a lot of good information even though you're stuck in there. But if the player has the detention block card, every time you ask something for the rest of the game, they're just going to show you the detention block card and you can't get out of there. You're stuck in there for the rest of the game. Game over for you. Terrible. Awful way to do this mechanism. Now, if they flipped that a little bit and said, instead of the player getting free gets to show you the card of their choice, if you got to randomly pick a card, then maybe that would be worth it, because then maybe you're getting a piece of information that you don't want, and then maybe people will be more incentivized to go free them. So, as a game, it's broken. I would never play this version of Clue over anything else. If you're a Star Wars fan and you don't care about that, and you just want to play it and be cool and jumping up and down the elevators and play with the characters you like and try to find the plans, okay, that's fine. But the mechanics are broken. So in this, I would say pass. A hard pass on this one if you want to play a game. If you want to play Star Wars, go play Star Wars Risk or something else Star Wars that's actually a game that's not broken.
This video was sponsored by Miniature Market's Review Corner. The Review Corner features podcasts, video, and written game reviews by gamers for gamers. Miniature Market, the online gaming superstore. Thousands of board games, discounted prices. Check them out at miniaturemarket.com. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for backing me on Kickstarter, making this season become a reality. I'd like to especially thank those here that have backed me at the credit level. Now, these video reviews are also available by audio on our podcast. It's the intros and the final thoughts on GameBoyGeek.com. Click podcast.